What's up, Saints and Aints? Welcome back to another episode of Music and Makeup. This is a special segment I like to call Behind the Beat, where I sit down with artists who are making serious noise in their lanes. My guest today, you may know him from projects like It's Personal and Triple Crown, but today we're talking about his new album, Memoirs of a Quiet Dawn, which just dropped on the Even platform. This project is packed with heavy-hitting records, including the singles Nothing Bigger Than the Mission and Air Conditioning featuring brother Tom Sos. We're going to get into the making of his album, the creative chemistry with 183rd, and what this new chapter means in his career. Welcome to the podcast, 100Grand Royce.
What's good?
No problem. So for our new listeners, how would you describe yourself and your sound?
Well, my sound is just authentic. It's authentic to my life. It's authentic to Harlem and my experiences. Like, it's soul. It's what I was raised on. You know, I came up on a lot of soul music. You know, I've been in the music since I was a kid. And that's what I let come through in my music.
Okay, so growing up, and especially in Harlem, what kind of music and environment shaped you into the artist you are today?
Well, Harlem is very competitive, right? And you got to be fly. So it's like, those are the two things that, you know, as soon as I jumped off the porch, you know, I learned that everybody was competitive and everybody was fly. So I translate that into my music. Like, the music got to be fly. You got to feel like you that nigga when you ride into it. And it's my experiences, like, you know what I'm saying? So being in Harlem and that competitiveness, you hear it in my raps. Like, I let them know I'm the one. So, you know, that's just how I was brought up. So it never left my music.
And how did you get started rapping?
I don't know. I just listened to so much music. It was like, I don't know. I think it was like Mace. Like, I was listening to Mace and I just wanted to do what he was doing. So, you know, I used to take his verses and try to change them with my own words until I could start doing it myself.
So what was like your first big break or like moment of validation that made you feel like, yeah, I'm really doing this as like my main thing?
I feel like it was a lot of moments, but I say one of the biggest moments was I was at an N.E.R.D concert and Jay Electronica had opened up and he was pulling artists on stage to rap and nobody was really killing it. And he wound up bringing me on stage. It's at Webster Hall. And I get on stage and I tore it down. Like, you know, I forgot my verse and all that. I wound up freestyling, going off the head and all that. But I still tore it down. He was like, I'm going to bring you backstage to meet Diddy, all types of crazy shit, right? And I felt like I wound up getting kicked out because I was burning in the building. So I never got to go backstage and all that. But you feel me? That was the moment. Like, people start posting it on YouTube. I start seeing random pictures of me online from that night. And that was the moment I knew I had him.
That's what's up. That's a big break right there. That's big.
Yeah,
You've been really consistent with your releases. What has it taken for you to maintain that type of consistency over the years?
One, I'm competitive, right? So, you know, I see what's out there and I know how good I could be. I know my potential. So I always strive to show my potential and reach it, right? And two, it's like I set my life up for this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I realized mad early that standing on a corner while I was trapping and getting in ciphers wasn't gonna do it for me. So as long as I've been around, like, I was investing in studio equipment. So I was perfecting my craft. Like, so I'd be on a block, but then I'd dip early to go hit the studio, like, and just run through beats and just write. Or I just go through all the beats I have and try to make a song to every one of them shits, you know what I'm saying?
Now, talk to me about being an independent artist. What are some of the challenges that you face and how have you been able to like overcome them?
It's like one of the challenges is like you doing everything yourself. Like, it's like running any other business. Like, you know, you starting with yourself, and you got to craft a team around you to help you build. Or if you can't, if you don't have the team, like myself, I had to learn all the skills I needed to learn to be able to build a team. So, like, as far as like even like content wise, like, I would have to study filming and content editing and things like that. And I had to learn it good enough to be able to teach somebody else to do it for me. Right. So it's things like that in this game that, like, even as far as dropping music, promoting, marketing, I had to really learn that for myself, apply it myself, and then do it good enough where I had to teach somebody else. So it was just me building my circle, building my team like that. That was one of the hardest challenges, but it was one of the best things that happened. Like, because we move like a well-oiled machine, right? And that's how I'm able to be as consistent as I am.
Are there any lessons that you learned the hard way in this industry that you'd want younger or newer artists to know?
The things I learned is like music, in my perspective, music comes first. Like, You gotta have the best music you could drop and rap on a shit you sound best on. Like
Hmm.
me, I rap on what I know I'ma sound good on. I'm not trying to chase the trends. I know if I hear a sound and I'ma kill it, then that's what I pick. Right? So the music always come first, always make the best music. And second thing, like it's called, it's the business. Like it's business. You gotta handle business. Like as far as making money, spending money, where you put your money, investing into yourself. That's the second most important thing I learned in this game. And that's the quickest way to get you elevated is like actually handling your business. When I was young, I used to hear that and like I ain't really know what that meant. But it's like,
Hmm.
yo, if you deal with people like the small business you are, then you'll go a lot further. I used to think business was like contracts and shit, like, but it's simple as paying your graphic designer for the artwork you get, or paying your producer for something. Like, you know what I'm saying? One hand wash the other, both wash their face. It's not just sitting in offices and signing contracts. It's like people knowing that you stick to your word and you can handle your business and what you say
Hmm.
get done. You move a lot faster in this industry.
Now, congratulations on the release of Memoirs of a Quiet Dawn. What's the story behind the title?
The story behind the title was like it was things that I ain't really do a lot of press. I don't really tell my stories. So the quiet dawn and the memoirs part is like I'm telling them stories in the music, like shit that people ask me that I ain't never really want to tell. I felt like this was the time to open a book and share some of them stories, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the memoirs of a quiet dawn. I'm usually a quiet person. I'm in a cut observing, right? Even in, you know what I mean, in crowds, events, I'm more observed than talk. So
Hmm.
this is the album I felt like I should talk on.
Okay. This isn't your first project with 183rd. After Triple Crown, what made this the right time for you all to circle back for another full album?
We did a lot. We did like five in like 2 or 3 years, right? We was going crazy, right?
Mhm.
So I wanted to elevate, right? So I just wanted this time around that we was on another level than just being consistently dropping music. So we both
Mhm.
took our time. That's my bro. Like we both took our times to elevate, and then when we came back together, it's a totally different impact from what we was dropping before. So it's like, yo, we gonna get low, we gonna build, and then when we at this certain level, hit them again, like.
Single Nothing Bigger Than the Mission, it definitely feels like a statement record. What was the feeling behind leading with that track?
Like I said, like we wanted to grow and build. So I actually that's like one of the first joints I did for the project. Like that was the mindset. Nothing bigger than the mission. We got a
Mhm.
goal, we trying to get somewhere, and it's nothing bigger than that. Like, I just had to stamp that over and over again. Even in the studio when he making beats, when we having our conversations, nothing bigger than the mission. Everywhere we go, every show we do, every state we touch, it's nothing bigger than the mission. No distractions.
I like that focus. Okay, and Air Conditioning featuring brother Tom Sos is another standout. How did you and him first connect, and what was it like working together?
First time we met, I did a show. I opened up for Jay Skis in Buffalo. So I
Okay.
was out, I was out there in their hometown. So I got to really feel the city, feel what everybody was about in Buffalo. I chopped it up with him out there. We built a rapport. I tore the show down. Shout out to Jay Skis for having me out there. We dismantled the show. So after that, I hit him like once we started the project, and I know I needed a big single. Like he was one of the people whose pens I really respected. So I hit him first, like, yo, let's do something, let's make something happen. And he just got right to it. Like he got right to it. He knew exactly where he was going on the song, and we was going in the same place on that song. So it just happened like nothing. Shout out
Yeah,
to
you
brother
all,
Tom Sos. He was very solid in making this record.
and say you all sounded really good together. Just like you said, it flowed really beautifully on that
Thank you.
song. Now, when you and Third are in album mode, what's the workflow like? Are y'all mapping out a concept ahead of time, or just stacking songs and finding a thread later?
Usually, like for our previous projects, I'll just pull up to the studio and he'll cook up a couple beats, and I'll write there on the spot and lay him down. With memoirs was a little different. We mapped this out. We had a whole world for this, like as far as breaking down the records, making the records, how we documented the whole process, how we shared it. Everything was a bigger process than how we normally do music. Even the content wise, we did a full breakdown of all the songs, all the production he did. You got to really take a look at us in the studio creating this project. And that's something we never really did. It'd be a little content here and there, but you really got to zoom in on the world and see what this quiet dawn world is about.
So you chose to drop this project on Even, which is a newer platform that's been gaining a lot of traction. What made you decide to roll it out there instead of a traditional DSP?
I feel like the DSPs is like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, right? I wanted to provide some soul food, like, and I was hearing about Even, and I was seeing it was direct to the consumer, like, so I could have a direct relationship with my fans. So, I dropped my last project, it's personal too, on Even on a whim. I said, let's try it out, see what happens. And I wound up going number 1 on Even for 4 or 5 weeks. I beat some big dogs on there. So, once I seen how that worked, I wound up speaking with the people in Even. They reached out and they wound up giving me support for the project. So once I seen how they worked hands on with me and how they was helping me along with the project before the release, I knew that was the perfect place to be as an artist, and more artists should go to even.biz. As far as DSPs, you listen to the music, you going about your business. But with Even, when you purchase my album, you get all the videos that come with the album.
Yes.
You get a link, you get a private link to my merch store for the album. So everybody, you can go to my website, but you won't find that link. So it's specific merch for that album that only purchasers get. And you get a full breakdown of every song with clips from behind the scenes with the album too. So for that little $10, $15 purchase, you get a lot of bang for your buck as opposed to being on DSPs.
What do you think that platforms like Even offer independent artists that bigger ones can't?
I feel like it's more support for artists. Like you not you it's like calling customer service and not getting an operator. You actually get to speak to the operator over there Even. Like they care about what's going on with your project, your music. It's not just you put it on the DSPs and hope everything go well. Like you got even like as a mid-tier, midstream artist, like I still get support on the platform. It's not, how big you are that's getting the support. It's you over there. You know what I'm saying? And that's very important. Like I feel like that's a great platform for artists.
Did releasing on Even change the way you approach marketing and connecting with your fans for this album?
I wouldn't say it changed it. It just I added more being more personable with my fans, right? So I've always marketed in different types of ways, but this one I got actually personal with my fans as opposed to what I present to them, how I communicate, how they communicate with me. It just made it tighter with my actual fan base. And it's like I know who y'all are. Like I speak to y'all, y'all speak to me. Y'all can touch the artist, pause. Y'all can touch the artist. I'm here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's a big difference. I don't feel like DSPs is strictly the bang, put your music out there, y'all listen, and go about your workday. Like, but if you actually a fan of music, and I was that type of fan growing up, then you need to be on platforms like Even.
Comparing Memoirs of a Quiet Dawn to Triple Crown, what's the biggest difference that you see in yourself growth wise as an artist and in working with 183rd between then and now?
That's a good question. I feel like Triple Crown is like one of my best projects I did, but it's like we so competitive. Like it's nothing is never enough, right? So I feel like my whole career from Triple Crown to Memoirs is like an upward trajectory. So I've toured since then. Like I've torn down tons of stages, big crowds, like stuff I really wasn't doing. I did Triple Crown like fresh out the pandemic, right? So I'm in a totally different world. I've grown so much as an artist. I've learned so much, and it's that I've been able to put that into the music, into the whole direction of me being an artist. That when I did Triple Crown, I was like, yo, these beats is hot, these songs is hot. Let's get a couple features, and we one of the hottest niggas out, right? That's how we looked at it, like. But now it's like we grown as an artist, as a producer, as in marketing and promotion. Everything has grown like as an artist. So I feel like you'll hear that in the music because a lot of that is I'm writing in that time perspective. Like so that music is my life at that moment. So you'll hear the difference because one side is like the streets, but it's like as I elevated out of the streets, you'll hear the music from me elevating out of the streets and what life is like now.
You talked about this album. You were a little bit more, not vulnerable, but sharing more of yourself. How do you balance that with your need for like privacy or liking to, keep to yourself? Because I'm a keep to myself type of person too. And it's like, how do you balance sharing yourself with your audience but not keeping it comfortable for yourself?
I like to keep a nice way of thinking about it is like, if I can't tell it to my kids, then I ain't gonna tell it to nobody else.
Okay.
You feel me? Everything else,
Mm-hmm.
the rest y'all can get. Is, you know what I mean? I just keep a nice balance like that. Like if I can't tell it to certain people, then nobody else won't get it.
Okay, I like that. If you had to pick one record off of the album that best represents who you are as an artist today, which one would it be?
Weinstein's.
Weinstein. Okay.
Weinstein's. I wrote that fresh off tour, like, and I feel like I've been performing since. So it's like that's how I feel like my between that and nothing bigger than a mission. I feel like that's what my life is like in the moment.
Outside of hip hop, what inspires your music?
Outside of hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
music, life, just just watching life from how it was before music to now. Like that's my biggest inspiration. Like because I remember when wasn't nothing happening in music. I was doing music, but wasn't nothing happening. Right? I
Mm-hmm.
was still on the block. I was still doing what I had to do. Now it's more like life is more based around the music. Like I grown the music to a point where I could live my life based around it. Like this the phone ring off the hook, the schedule is packed. It's like this everything we aim for as kids.
How do you balance staying authentic to yourself while also evolving with the times?
I'm gonna be honest, like I stay around people in my age group, right? So
Mm.
I never look too crazy because we all look pretty much the same. Like we not jumping out the window with the youngest. Like stay in a class and I stay in mine.
When people hear your music, what do you hope that they walk away feeling?
That they got to know me a little better. Like they got the vibe to it, and that they could play it again. They could run it back. So I just
Okay.
want them to run it back, let them learn who Hundo is, and you'll come back for the next time.
What do you want your legacy to be, both musically and personally?
Personally, one of the realest, one of the most authentic that did it. Put it all out there for everybody. As far as my music, I want them to know I'm one of the best that did it. I got one of the best catalogs out here that's in this underground thing. They'll realize it when they get to it. That's really all I wanted it to be. Like, we'll have one of the best catalogs and be one of the best of them out there.
And if you could talk to your younger self, just starting out, what advice would you give yourself?
Focus up a little more. Like, stop running around behind the dumb shit. Like, focus on nothing being bigger than the mission.
Right. So what's next for 100 grand? Any upcoming projects, collaborations, or moves that you can share with us?
Yeah, I'm working on the Memoirs of a Quiet Dawn. I got some big features I'm working on. I don't want to announce right now, but it's gonna go up a whole nother level.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Dame Grease gonna get back in the studio and work on something. And
Okay.
I'm gonna be on the road. Like y'all gonna definitely catch me on the road. I got a show September 25th in Brooklyn with Ricky Hyde, man. Come fuck with me.
Okay. Shout out to Rick Hyde from BSF.
Sure.
So how can people support you? I know you just mentioned your show that you have coming up. Any merch, socials, or anything that you want to plug?
You can go to 100grandroyce.com/shop and go cop some merch. You can go on even.biz, spend a little dime and cop the album. Spend a little more, you might get something extra. Like I'm doing $50 custom intros for anybody that want to support there. And I also got a hundo pack where you get a personalized song, a PDF for the lyrics, and you get a voice note explaining it, and you get cover art for it. I'm doing 50 of them for $10. Holla at me in the DM, Cash App, 100 Grand Royce. You can get one of those personalized.
I want to thank you again for coming on the show. I'm going to put all your information too in the description box for our listeners. That is a wrap on today's episode of Behind the Beat. A big thank you to 100 Grand Royce for coming through and sharing his story, and of course, breaking down his album, Memoirs of a Quiet Dawn with the 183rd. Make sure y'all go tap into that project on Even and on his platform. As always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love, and supporting independent voices in music. If you like this episode, go ahead and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, Saints and Aints, love you. Bye.